you're naive.
Okay.
Because you don't realize that our democracy is being turned into a dictatorship.
Right.
Okay. And either
what's your example of that? Like, what do you mean? You know, just so we can talk about specifics instead of generals. Because I could say,
I don't have time.
you know, I could say that the Biden administration abused federal power just like the Obama administration, just like the Trump administration probably is, you know?
What?
But as for a dictator, like, why would a dictator be fighting tooth and nail to pass legislation in Congress?
If you can't see...
Why did he wait for Congress to pass the big, beautiful bill if he's a dictator?
Because the Democrats were trying to fight against it.
No, but if he's a dictator, wouldn't he just do it?
Well, he's progressing. He's getting worse and worse and worse and doing more and more and more. It's like every day. He's trying to take over the universities, and he's taken over some of the lawyers.
No, he's defunded federal funding for the ones that are discriminating against students and creating riots.
He says they're discriminating.
I mean, UCLA was pretty bad.
Does he go to every campus? Did you know that now?
They made national stories. That's how everyone knows. You know, UCLA creating encampments, preventing students that pay like, what, $50,000 a year from going into certain areas. I mean, they can't do that, right? And if the school's not enforcing it, okay, cool. Take away their funding, you know? Is that reasonable?
Do you realize how much of that funding goes to research, particularly medical research, that could come up with cures to cancer? And things,
they shouldn't be. So they shouldn't be, you know, encouraging the discrimination of students. They also shouldn't be producing, you know, American-hating students. That shouldn't be their finished product. They should actually do a good job.
But I don't know. You know, I just know that, in my opinion, that he should not be going into private universities. Okay, like for example, Columbia and Harvard. They're private universities.
They don't need to demand my taxpayer dollars, though, do they?
They should not be telling private schools what they can and cannot do.
They're only saying that when it comes to federal funding, or unless they're violating actual, you know, law. But when it comes to federal funding, that's what we're talking about here.
The bottom line is,
you know, yeah, take it away.
If they really are concerned about our deficit and all right, then why did they give so many tax cuts to billionaires who don't need one penny more?
Yeah. I don't think that's not the most crazy argument I've heard, right? I mean, when it comes down to it, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, so that's a continuation of what, 2018?
One of my volunteer
really quick, do you mind if I touch on that?
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
The reason I'm saying that is because, okay, well, first of all, middle class got tax cuts. You had no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, directly helps the middle class. Also, a reduction. So if you're going to mention the tax cuts for the very wealthy people,
why should they get tax
you should
cuts
also mention the tax cuts for the middle class as well.
Okay, yes, and there are some tax cuts.
The argument against that is, have you seen how poorly we're spending people's money? So I think when it comes to our programs and our social programs, those need to be running properly before we start demanding that Americans start paying more in taxes. What do you think?
How do you know?
Like, why should they pay more?
How do you know? Do you
they're inefficient.
Do you go to all these organizations and all these places and say, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. That's wasting money. Oh, and you shouldn't be doing that's wasting money." Yeah. You don't know. You aren't in these agencies.
Do you think schooling in the United States is? Do you think we're doing a great job of schooling in the United States?
Well, it's not getting enough funding. Of course it's not doing as well as it should be.
It's not getting enough funding?
It's not getting enough funding. Believe me, I know. I used to work for the school district, and I've seen the cuts, all right?
Well,
and now, you know, now what you're doing now, they're cutting funds for special needs kids, all right? They're starting to do that.
That's not correct. What specifically are you talking about?
About Trump saying that the DEI, okay, it is not fair, that it's not fair, that we shouldn't be, you know, catering to certain people and not to others. I don't know exactly how to word this.
It's discrimination.
Right. And he's saying that it
is discrimination.
He's saying it is diversity, equality, and inclusion. Yeah. Those are the three things.
Essentially, it's race-based quotas within hiring practices and all that stuff.
About that. What about disability? I have a daughter with a disability, all right?
Oh, specifically, I guess.
I used to work with disabled children. And so if all of a sudden they say, okay, you know what? DEI is a bad thing, so, you know, we're not going to give you funds because disability is part of DEI. So we're not going to give you. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're doing there, but I do know that I'm very concerned about it.
As you should be. The only problem is I mean, that's not the case.
Look into
Yes,
it. Look into it.
no,
I don't
you
know where it stands right now. I
That's
really
okay.
don't know, but I know that's one of the things that they want to gut.
Really quick, I mean, we're talking about education department. The reason I brought that up actually is it was created in 1979. They've spent $3 trillion on the education department. Not much to show for it. If anything, the numbers have gotten worse.
That's a matter of opinion, not much to show.
There's
for
data
that. Okay.
of math proficiency, English.
Okay, so why should I believe the data? Trump doesn't believe the data. Okay, so why should I believe that
It's
data?
like decades of data. You don't have to
Okay,
believe it.
So, okay.
What data are you referring to that Trump doesn't believe?
The labor.
Okay, so
when the Labor Department came out and gave a bad report that made him look bad, he said,
not the
"I
full
don't
context.
believe it." Okay.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
It's not the full context of the situation. They had a massive, almost historical revision under Biden's administration, and then a second
Okay.
one under Trump.
That's
So,
what you guys
so they
always go back to Biden. Okay.
no,
Let me
that's not
find-
my
no,
my
I'm
point is
done.
giving you the
I'm
full
done.
context, man.
I'm done. Okay.
You're what?
Yes, you guys are right. Everything was Biden's fault, and
That's
if
not what I'm
not
saying.
Biden, it was Obama.
That's
I'm
not
done.
what I'm saying. I'm giving you full context of botching the numbers twice within like 12 months or 2 years, and so they got rid of her.
Why didn't he do something about it and complain about it before he got the bad statistics? Tell me why.
A second screw up as opposed to first.
So, no.
I think you guys would have been upset if he fired her just in general.
He was fine with it when it wasn't real bad. He was fine with it. So he said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
So I don't want to believe. He doesn't want to believe the facts.
We're
okay?
talking about a pattern of
Okay,
screwing
I
up
don't know-
numbers.
I don't know about that.
That's
I've
fine.
never
That's
heard
okay.
that. I have not heard that.
Hey, you can check it out. You can
Okay,
Google it.
I will-
It'll pop up.
I will check that out.
Really quick though. I
Well,
wanna show
yeah.
you.
Well, will it pop up on Fox News?
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
I don't,
Okay.
I don't read Fox.
Breitbart.
Okay.
Okay. Newsmax. Is that where it's gonna come from?
Ma'am, I'm
Peter
not-
Navarro.
I'm not reading that. That's not what I'm reading. Okay.
Okay, because those people, all those things are totally biased.
I understand you-
And if that's where your information is coming from,
It's
then it's
not,
a
ma'am.
bunch of you know what.
It's not. That's not where my information is coming from, ma'am.
Okay, I'll look it up. Believe me.
But please check this out. I encourage you. This NGO advises public schools in 13 states, right? This NGO argues that America is a racialized structure of power, privilege, and oppression, and suggests that Republicans are violently fighting for the maintenance of white supremacy. Why are taxpayer dollars going to that?
Because there's an element of truth in that. It's an element of truth in that.
You don't think that sounds like slightly biased or radical?
There's definitely an element of truth in that.
What's the element of truth?
I mean, they're out there now saying the quiet part out loud. So many of them, they want United States to be a white Christian nation.
You're defending this.
I'm saying
mean,
there's
this
an
is really radical
I'm
stuff.
saying there's an element to truth.
There's an
in
element
what
of
they're
truth.
saying.
Should they be teaching? Should taxpayer dollars? It doesn't really matter if you think it's
Well, you know
element
what?
of truth or
You know
not. Should
what?
taxpayer dollars be going to that?
I have never heard about that before. It could be.
Hey, we got the education department granting $8 million more to this left-wing NGO that demands that you disrupt your whiteness. They're also responsible for advising
Okay, so
7,000
where's-
school districts in the Midwest.
Okay, what's your source on that?
This
Where
one right
can
here.
Where can I look that up when
I have-
go home?
I have the
'Cause
direct
I have
video.
to go. I have other things to do. This is not my full-time job.
Yes, ma'am, I
all right?
understand. I get it.
Um,
This is the video from the NGO right here.
oh, okay.
This is directly from them. So it seems as though the education department has just gotten to be this incredible waste of money that's giving money to very radical NGOs. I mean,
Okay,
they don't seem to be benefiting the United States at all. In fact, don't you have an interest in raising and educating patriots for your country, and not people that are saying, "Oh, you're white and you should hate your country"?
They're not saying that. Believe me,
You don't think
I
that
worked in the
teaches-
school district.
teaches hatred?
I worked in the school district for 20 years. All right. Never heard anything like that.
Disrupt your whiteness. Is that a healthy thing to be?
Disrupt. Oh, that they want to disrupt your whiteness.
Yeah, taxpayer dollars going to
Okay.
groups that are
Okay.
saying stuff like that.
Well, like I said, I'd have to research it. I would want to look at what the source is, and
That's okay.
and then there's always when you
respect
have
that.
a source like that, you'll always have the other side will say, well, yeah, they're just taken out of context or whatever. Or it could be totally false. Okay, so I'm
Would
not
you like
going
to watch the video? I have the full
No,
video right there.
I can look at it myself.
Yes, ma'am.
So what should I look up?
I appreciate you asking.
Okay,
this
what
question.
should I look up so I can inform myself on this? And I wish I were a little more versed in things, but
okay.
there's so many things to be versed on.
That's right.
You know, but bottom line is, I do know that we didn't need to extend this tax credit for the wealthiest people, and I think it was, like I said, immoral to do that.
Well,
If they
think
are
there's-
not, whether
It's not the most controversial thing you said today.
Okay, exactly. Okay. And to me, that's the bottom line. To me, that is, well, it's not the bottom line.
I just
because
want them to get more efficient at spending our money before they start taking more of our
and
money.
I understand that.
Okay.
I totally understand that. But I don't think like Doge. They just went in there, and well, what was it? What was it?
Waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. What was that when he went that one time with the sledgehammer or whatever it was?
The chainsaw.
Yeah, the chainsaw.
Okay,
And that's it. He's just coming in with a chainsaw and not really. There wasn't time doing that so early on. I can't believe that they really went in there and studied and said, "Oh yeah, your job's not necessary."
You
And
can't legally do it. What you're saying, you can't do.
can't do what?
Not, in a general sense, I'm going to generalize here. You can't legally do what you're saying. So they had to get rid of people that were on probation. They had to get rid of new hires.
They didn't do people who were just on probation.
Well, I understand.
It wasn't just people on probation.
I understand, but that's why I said in
What
a
about
general
all these-
sense that's what they went
about
for.
all these
But ma'am,
Ferraris now that-
$37 trillion in debt. Eventually, we have to do drastic cuts. And your guys' generation, we do appreciate a lot of things, but the national debt and allowing government to get spending so out of control, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, millennials, we're gonna have to
And
deal
you
with
know what?
fixing.
That's one of the reasons I am out here.
Yes.
It's because
But you
my
have to cut
millennial
spending.
kids, my
You have
millennial
to cut
kids,
spending.
you don't necessarily, you can do cut spending, but you also need to get rid of those tax cuts for the wealthiest
I
people.
understand that,
They-
but that's not going to fix the
Oh,
national
yes,
debt.
it could. These
No,
people
they don't have that much liquid
billions.
cash. They don't.
Okay, well then let's
not true.
tax their non-liquid cash, like Elizabeth Warren suggests. Okay, it's because I'm going to put all my money in real estate so I don't have to pay tax. So you have so you got 10 houses, and my kids can't afford one house here. And you know what? I agree. My generation, baby boom generation, and then my parents' generation as well. Of course, they went through the Depression, they went through World War II, but they had a very good, once World War II was over, and with the GI Bill, my dad benefited from the GI Bill and went
God
to
bless him.
school. And he helped free a concentration camp when he was over
God
there.
bless him.
So,
God bless him.
they had a really good life, okay? As far as,
Can we agree
having
on this?
enough.
Can we
And
agree on
then,
this?
huh?
You're talking about how great of a life they had, and yes, that generation definitely fought for it for sure. But when it comes down to it, these generations that are growing up right now, they do not have it as good.
I know exactly.
We need to get
Okay, now let me
spending under
finish. I
control
know exactly.
before we start importing millions of people. We need to put them
I know.
first.
Like I said, that's one of the reasons I'm out here.
Okay.
Who knows how much longer I'm going to live. I'm 74. I'm not going to live a whole lot longer. But my kids are. And my grandkids are, all right? If I ever have grandkids, I don't have any, but I'm fighting here for the millennials and Generation Z. Yeah, they've gotten screwed. But you know what? One of the big reasons, have you looked at, ever since Ronald Reagan went in there and came up with trickle-down economics, have you seen how the wealth gap, it's gone like this? So the wealthiest people are way up here, and everybody else is there. It's so exponentially worse. So much more that they have now, and that's why they should be paying a whole lot more.
This is the funniest thing. I mean, we have NAFTA in the 90s, right? That sent all of our manufacturing overseas and got rid of good jobs for the working class. And then Democrats are upset that Trump is trying to use tariffs to bring manufacturers back.
Do you think NAFTA,
I think that.
NAFTA's what's
Do you mind if I finish that thought? I think that was one of the best things that Trump has done. Yes. Is it risky? Yes. But trying to bring a lot of these jobs back to the United States, if that's what he's saying, and he's trying to do that in the big, beautiful bill, they're also creating serious incentives to be building manufacturers in the United States. All those jobs, all those amazing jobs went overseas. So we became a consumer economy and country where all the wealthy people that own the factories and all that, all these people, they make as much money. They make record profits. Meanwhile, you just gutted the working class. There was, in the 10 years after NAFTA was signed, they lost about 700,000 manufacturing jobs, roughly. Maybe it was 20 years.
The middle class would not be so gutted if the wealthiest weren't getting, like I said, that income gap is another thing that's so totally immoral. So if we didn't have that income gap, if we started taxing those people to bring that income gap down,
That's
then
not, you don't
that-
tax your way to
No, no,
get
I'm not-
lower
what
and
I'm
middle
talking
class
about-
to
I'm
gain
saying-
wealth.
No.
It's not how you build wealth.
If you have
There's
more
communist
money-
countries that have tried that.
If you have
Failed.
more money to invest in things, all
Okay.
right? If you have more money to invest in things, all
Yeah.
right? And we have a deficit right now.
I mean,
in fact, the deficit's even going to go up now.
The middle class just needs more opportunities. The housing crisis doesn't help, right? There's
that's
all
part
of
of it.
it's a massive
you're saying-
it's
so
a
you
massive
believe-
moving system,
you
you know,
believe-
that contributes to people struggling to get ahead
So
in the
you
U.S.
believe that that tremendous income gap has nothing to do with our deficit and the increasing income deficit. You think that that the income deficit has nothing to do with what's going on here and why
Our massive social programs are why we're in so much debt. We can't afford them.
Oh, you mean like you want to? Okay, you're one of these that wants to get rid of Social Security and Medicare, huh? Is that what you want to get rid of? For those things that I've paid into for all my life, for 50 years, and you want to get rid of it, huh? Is that what you want?
Do you want me to answer?
So, huh? Yeah.
Social Security is an absolute scam.
No, it's
so I
not.
want you to get it. That's great. But eventually, what they should have done before was privatize it. They had no reason
Oh,
to
right.
create
And you
public
privatize-
Social
so-
Security where they just, it's a big grab bag of
Privatize
cash
it
for the
For the
government.
billionaires that invest in that
think-
company can make a profit off of my health care. That's what happens, you know?
You would literally get more money actually. Like if you put that Social Security money in the Nasdaq or S&P 500 over the last,
Okay, let's take-
you know.
let's take-
I'm not saying we all do that,
Let's take
but if
some
you
of the
did that, you would be
billionaire tax
incredibly
cuts.
wealthy.
Let's take some of the billionaires, cut their taxes, put that in there, okay? Put that in the investment you're talking about, you know?
Yeah,
okay.
I really, I
Okay.
mean, you keep bringing up the billionaires. I really have no problem with that. But if you took all of their money today, you wouldn't be able to pay off our debt. You wouldn't be able to put a massive dent in the debt.
Yeah,
and
yes,
you would
you
put
would.
a
Yes,
bunch
you
of
would.
companies and a bunch of people, they would be bankrupt them. So let's say you took all their liquid cash, all their wealth,
No,
and you
that's
said,
not-
we're going to put it
okay,
at the debt.
then let's
It wouldn't
take
even
their-
work.
Then let's take their 5 extra houses.
You'd still have
you know?
overspending in the government, and that's the biggest problem. Is our programs are
Okay,
too
why
big,
should
and they're
people-
being abused, and they're not
Okay.
running efficiently.
But these people,
Is that-
it's
you
not,
see what I
it's
said?
Not,
You hear what I
it's
said?
not all about, you know, that they're. In fact, see, that was it. That was one of the things. That's what Reagan's idea
Are you
was.
saying that
was-
they run efficiently, our government programs?
Oh, of course not. But I'm also saying that you can't, in a few weeks, like those tried to do, say, oh, this is waste and that's waste and this is waste. You really need to go in there and investigate things, you know. And this employee's not necessary.
Well, you
This
can-
employee's
you
not
know,
working well.
You can
you
say
know?
that, but there's been no Democrat politician or Democrat base that's actually advocated for doing something like that and getting our spending under control. So I don't think that.
Yes, they have. They've tried to
Wait,
tax
name-
the wealthy. Yes, they have.
No, I'm
They
talking
need
about
to be-
our
Okay.
government programs running efficiently. Like, why take more money from the American people when your government programs aren't running efficiently? How do you argue?
Well,
that?
you don't know. You don't know for a fact. I mean, where is the proof that all of them are so inefficient that that's what's causing, that that's the major cause of our deficit?
I mean, we
Okay.
brought up the education department for just one example. We spent $3 trillion on it. We have nothing to show for it.
Okay, well, that's your opinion. I think that there's nothing to show for
There's
it.
also
We
data
haven't
that supports
educated
this.
any children in that period of time. We haven't. Gee, let's see. My daughter
The
went to
education
school, and
department
my
doesn't
daughter went to
educate
Berkeley.
children.
My daughter
We
graduated
have to know
from
what the
Berkeley.
education department
So I
does
guess
before we
the
start.
education department really wasn't doing anything good. And most of her classmates also went to prestigious colleges.
The education department
They
doesn't
went to
educate
MIT,
children.
They went to Brown. They went to UCLA. My niece and nephew, one went to Berkeley, one went to UCLA.
But there's something super interesting about that. I mean, that has really become the Democrat Party.
What?
College educated, well off, a lot of women. That's, I mean, Kamala Harris, you know, she didn't win the middle class. I think Democrats are losing the middle class.
You know, but
They
you
voted
know
for
what?
Donald Trump because they thought that
You know, a
he
lot
would
of
do
the
better
reason
by the middle
she did
class.
not win, because she's a black woman. That's why. She's highly more qualified than Trump, but she's a black woman. And
What was her
I've
greatest
also-
accomplishment?
I have also. Her greatest accomplishment?
Yeah, in your view, Kamala Harris's greatest accomplishment.
Well, for one thing, she's not the one. You know what she does what the president asked her to do. I don't know. I didn't look at everything. I'm just saying she's
then why
highly.
is she more
was highly
qualified?
qualified. She had experience.
You said
in
she
the-
was more qualified.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. What qualifications does Donald Trump have?
Well, for starters, he's already been president.
Okay, and she was vice president, and she was vice president.
But I mean, a
okay?
lot of people know new wars under Donald Trump's administration, cracking down on the border and
Yeah,
getting
but
it
then-
under
but then-
control.
Okay, no new wars. No new wars.
I can keep going.
What he said he was going to stop both the Israeli genocide of the
Israeli and Gaza, and then also Russia and Ukraine.
He said he was going to stop Russia and Ukraine.
That's a fair criticism. Are you going to give him more time?
No.
They've ended 5 wars, roughly. Maybe I think 6, actually.
Yeah, that's what he says. First of all, there are more skirmishes than anything else. And like I told you, one of them. Look at the Register and the LA Times today. And I'm not sure which it is. My guess is probably wasn't in the Register because the Register doesn't like to. They're doing it a little bit more now. Even the Register now is getting a little more upset with him and starting to print more negative things about him. So it might have been in the Register, but it was probably, and it could have been an AP article.
That wars haven't ended under Trump's administration?
Not ones that I know of. Okay. In fact, like
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. I would look. Okay. I just know that he's claimed that. He has claimed that he ended those wars.
They did a peace deal in the United States.
He claimed that he has stopped, 7 wars or 8 wars?
I think it's 5 or 6.
This is a man who has lied like 330,000 times. So I would not believe that he did that it was him specifically doing this until I look at
they were
all
just randomly
the
in the U.S. Signing a peace deal? They just happened to be in the United States?
And which one was that?
Azerbaijan?
Okay, you named one.
Okay, I'll do another one.
Okay.
Congo?
Congo. Was in the White House? In the White House?
Yeah.
Okay.
Azerbaijan actually has, I believe they've been in a conflict for about, since the Cold War. And Russia actually tried to end that war prior because it's beneficial for Russia to get that war under control. And they failed.
Okay.
Trump administration did it.
No, I'll look those up
Is that
and see.
an accomplishment?
Okay.
How about eliminating or, seriously setting back Iran's nuclear capabilities and ending? That was another one.
He did that. I'm not going to deny that.
Is that a plus?
But I did not see it as a plus because I thought, boy, Iran's, they're gonna fight, but they're going to start another war. They didn't. But I was very concerned.
People were saying
I thought,
that it was
no. In fact, that's when I made one of my other signs: is no more wars, because I thought, oh no, he's starting another war. So I was not, It's turned out they haven't retaliated in.
Well, that one ended.
It
wasn't declared officially a war.
Ended, but also
people were calling it that.
Once he continues his developing his nuclear weapon, which most experts are saying, it wasn't obliterated, it was just set back. And in fact, you even said that, set back.
Well, I think it's a safer word to use. I mean,
it was set back. I agree with that.
Yeah, like indefinitely.
But it wasn't, no,
it's like they're probably years out from that. Okay. So is it like 100% obliterate doesn't exist anymore? No, I can't make that argument, right?
They're not saying years. There are many experts out there, former diplomats, people that know that part of the country who have said, no, it's, set them back a short period of time. It's not a real long time.
Would you prefer that over nothing?
Some of them said weeks. So, no, I that's fine. Since we did not get this huge retaliation that could put us at risk, I'm fine with it.
Trump has there's precedent for Trump punching our enemies right in the face. Sorry, I didn't mean to angle that at you.
But he's not doing that with Putin.
Huh?
He's not doing that with Putin.
What do you?
He's.
What sanctions? What more sanctions could we put on Russia?
He has lots of sanctions. He has lots of sanctions. Like for example, he could stop the oil. We could stop him getting the oil.
They're trying to. Right now, we actually put 50%. Actually, we increased tariffs on India, trying to pressure them to stop buying oil from Russia.
Not dealing with Putin directly.
It's dealing with how they make the country makes their money that way. You hear what I said, ma'am?
Putin's going to do this for me. I said, I think he's going to do this as a favor for me.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me just bring this back. Putin has walked all over Democrats. Obama, Biden didn't walk all over Trump. So how are we arguing that right now?
What do you mean?
If you don't mind me asking, I'm a little bit confused.
All over Trump, he's doing nothing for Trump.
What I'm saying is Putin walked all over the 2 last Democrat presidents. But he didn't do that for Trump.
I would not use your term. All right, but
you're right. It's not walk. It's killed a bunch of people and took land.
Okay, but and Trump said he was going to stop this. All right.
If that's your criticism,
Biden was giving them a lot of weapons, giving Ukraine a chance, and now Trump is stopping that.
No, Biden had no plans to end the war, and they weren't trying to end the war. And I give the Trump
Okay,
administration credit.
by giving them weapons wasn't trying
They weren't
to end
pushing
the
for a
war?
peace deal, and they weren't pushing hard. And the Trump administration is, and he's getting criticized for
They
that. And I
know
find
that-
that pretty
they
interesting,
know-
actually.
They know
Seems kind of
peace-
crazy.
And it's in the same way today. The only way that Putin's going to go in for peace is if we give him part of Ukraine.
You're probably right about
Okay,
that.
and that's not right. Ukraine is its own country. How would you like it if all of a sudden Mexico invaded California and said, you know what, and this is true, California used to be part of Mexico, we're going to take California. Would you think that's okay? And that Trump, what if Trump said, okay, fine, I'm going to give you California. You can have California.
It's
Would that
our
be right?
country. You're talking. There's two
Ukraine is
orange
their
and
own
apples
country.
right now.
It is not oranges and apples.
Apples and oranges.
Okay, how is it not the same?
Because Ukraine's not our country.
No, what I'm saying is Putin not wanting to end the war, not wanting,
He's a tough bastard. I get it.
The only way he will go for peace is if Ukraine gives up part of their country.
I'm not disagreeing with you
I'm
there.
just saying,
I'm just saying.
That's the only way peace is going to happen.
But you
Biden
see,
knew that.
do you mind if I get one thing out really quick? When it comes down to this, okay, you're saying that as if it's some terrible thing, which I can see your point, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that, right? Because the other side of the argument is keep 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds killing each other by the hundreds of thousands for the foreseeable future. That's your other argument. And I think that this conversation, we're two adults, we can say, well, geez, there has to be a compromise because we don't want death. Could you imagine if your kids were fighting? Let's say you're a Russian family member. Let's say you're a Ukrainian family member. Like these are people that we're talking about here. So if you have to compromise and find a compromise to end a war, I would personally support that because I tend to lean on the side of wrapping up wars. But you're making the opposite argument. You're saying, no, it's wrong to give up land and
I agree. Why,
you know?
why should they? And do you
because
think,
they can't fight their own
do
wars.
You think, okay, and why can't they now? Is because they're not getting the support from the United States. And I believe this is what Biden was doing. He realized that Putin's not going to go for a peace agreement unless he takes part of Ukraine, okay? So he said, all right, we're going to give the Ukrainians arms that they need so they can fight back.
Yeah.
So,
No end
and
in sight.
Hopefully get to the point where, because Russia's economy is not great right now.
Oh, no,
They're
no.
having their
If your
troubles.
argument is that they can outlast Russia, that's not true.
Well, you don't know. But
I do know that.
Okay, well.
That
So
one is set in stone.
So you are an international expert, and you used to be a diplomat over there in.
I'm not trying to be cocky here.
Why not?
I'm just saying and please, I'm not trying to be rude here. It's common sense. Russia can throw millions of bodies at this issue. Ukraine absolutely cannot. Russia can 100% outlast Ukraine, and that's part of the reason why they're just continuing their thing and not giving in to any peace deals.
But the Ukrainians don't want to give up.
I understand.
Okay, all right.
If I was Ukrainian, I wouldn't either.
I think that it, especially now that we've got the European Union and the Europeans willing to put more money in. Okay.
Who was responsible for that?
Yeah, okay, yeah, he did, but he's not doing his share now. Now say, okay, you guys are doing your share, I'm not going to do my share. We're not going to go give you any more weapons. You know, I'm sorry, all right? And there are sanctions he could have give against Putin that he's not doing.
Which ones?
Well, the only one I know specifically, but I'm not an expert in all these things.
Well, hold on.
But I know,
can't make
I know oil. And
You can
think
say
there's-
I think instead of there
No,
are.
okay,
You can say I think
know
there
that
are.
they can stop getting their oil. I said stop buying their oil.
From
You
who?
know, from the European Union, the United States could quit buying.
We don't buy oil from Russia.
Well, they know that they go to their tariffs. But all I know is that the oil is one of the sanctions. There are so.
Really quick. I'm not trying to do a gotcha there. I do encourage people though. If you're making an argument, they can do this.
Right,
you can say I think.
I didn't come here prepared to argue every single issue. First of all, there are so many.
Yeah, that's why I'm letting you take it wherever you want to take it.
And I can't be on. All I know is they're saying that there are many sanctions, and I don't know all of them. I just know that one has to do with oil, and I don't know specifically what it is. But there are sanctions that he could put on Putin, and he keeps saying he will, and he never does.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the Trump administration is doing right now is going after their primary partners when it comes to weakening the relationship with India. I think those are fantastic ideas. When it comes to the Azerbaijan peace agreement, a reason for that is because it made Russia look weak, because Russia hasn't been able to do that. So,
And
yeah,
you're right
it's
on that one. I haven't
okay,
heard.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I have not heard about that because I am focused so much on domestic issues.
me too.
Okay, and that's not a domestic issue.
Yes.
That's international. I know it can have an effect on us, but
Domestically,
I'm more,
thank God we got the
okay.
border crisis under control, huh?
Okay, well.
Bad for the human traffickers, right?
Okay. Oh, you mean Epstein and Ghislaine
Well,
Maxwell
don't
and
change
who
the
knows?
subject really
And
quick.
who else? You know? No, you brought up human trafficking.
No, I'm
And
talking about
they're
immigration.
Human traffickers.
I was talking about the
No,
border crisis.
And you said in your thing about immigrants.
Are you ready to talk about Epstein? Do you want me to talk? Do you want to talk about
You
Epstein?
said human traffickers. I'm just saying.
Are you-
No, I don't want to get on a whole nother issue. I've already spent a lot more time here than I really
You-
want to spend.
As I've said,
I'm
you've
just
given me
saying-
way more of your time than I expected
Okay,
or deserve.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Um, But I still think we're leaving off on a good note, so we can end it here. We can end it here.
Okay.
Last message, give it 2 sentences to the audience. What do you want them to know? 1 or 2 sentences, and I'm not going to rebut.
Okay. I want that. Well, the 2 sentences. What I guess the most important thing to me for people to realize is number one, our slowly but surely and actually quickly, more quickly than I ever thought it would happen, Trump is becoming a dictator. He is trying to take over the schools. He's trying to take over. He's already got lawyers to cave to him. He's trying to suppress the press. And then firing agencies like, oh, I just thought it was really interesting that the woman he happened to fire on the Fed was a black woman. Oh, what a shock, you know? Okay, anyway.
Are you saying
the
that-
most important
Are you
thing?
saying what a shock? That's why she was bad at her
I'm
job.
sarcastic.
Is that racist?
Okay, no, I'm saying he's racist and a misogynist as well.
Okay.
I mean, like for example, he
Well,
fired.
hold on,
he
I said 2
ordered-
sentences, ma'am.
Oh, okay, then let me finish. To me, the most important thing is that with this big bastard of a bill,
Oh.
because it's not a big beautiful bill. Now, how about this big bad bill? So I won't get all my expletives out of there. This big bad bill extends tax breaks for the wealthiest people in our country, and it's taking things away from the poorest people. And to me, anyone who's behind that is immoral, and I don't understand how they sleep at night. And our congresswoman right here, Young Kim, is one of them. And that's why we're out here. Well, we're out here for lots of reasons, but our primary focus is on her.
I want to say one last thing. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you had a great time to chat with me,
Okay.
and I know I did, and I think it's a very beneficial conversation for people,
Okay.
so I just appreciate you giving me your time.
Okay, well, thank you.
What was your name?
Thank you.
I'm James.
I'm Mimi.
Mimi?
Yeah. Okay.
Lovely speaking with you,
Okay.
Mimi. We're wrapping up.
Okay,
We're
alrighty.
going this way, so.
Okay. That's,
Here, ma'am, you want me to grab your chair?
I'm good. You know, but I don't want to be kind of a feeble old lady. Maybe an old lady. I want to be feeble.
It's simple. Fair enough.
I try to do whatever I can by myself.